Slipping into my dream wedding dress, I turned to the mirror, only to see my fiancé passionately kissing my sister just outside the boutique window. I had always dreamed of this moment, the day I would slip into my wedding dress, stand before the mirror, and feel like a princess. It was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, a memory I would cherish forever. But instead, it became the moment my entire world shattered. The boutique was a vision of soft lace, shimmering silk, and delicate ivory gowns displayed like works of art. My mother sat in the corner, her hands clasped in excitement, while my best friend, Natalie, scrolled through her phone, waiting to capture the perfect shot of me in the dress, the one I had spent months dreaming about. I inhaled deeply as the assistant fastened the last button on my back. "Are you ready?" she asked, her voice light with anticipation. I nodded, my heart pounding as I turned toward the mirror. And that was when I saw them. Just beyond the boutique window, across the street, stood my fiancé, Ryan. The man I had loved for years, the man I had planned to spend forever with. And in his arms, pressed against him as if she belonged there, was my sister, Lily, her hands tangled in his hair, his lips crushing hers with an urgency that made my stomach lurch. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The world around me faded, the laughter of other brides-to-be in the boutique becoming a distant hum. My body turned to ice, my fingers tightening around the fabric of my dress, as if holding onto it could somehow stop my heart from breaking. "Emma," Natalie called, oblivious to the devastation unfolding right in front of me. "Oh my God, you look stunning." I barely heard her. My gaze remained locked on the two figures outside, my mind racing to make sense of what I was seeing. Maybe I was hallucinating. Maybe this was some cruel trick of the light. But no, the way Ryan cupped Lily's face, the way she melted into his touch, there was no mistaking it. I stumbled backward, knocking into a rack of veils. The boutique assistant rushed forward, concern flashing in her eyes. "Are you all right?" No, I was anything but all right. I forced a breath into my lungs and tore my gaze away from the window. If I stared a second longer, I would collapse. My mother, still unaware, beamed at me. "Oh, sweetheart, you look perfect. Ryan will cry when he sees you." A bitter laugh clawed up my throat. Ryan, the man I had loved, the man who had whispered forever into my ears, the man who had kissed my sister while I stood just feet away, wrapped in my dream dress. I couldn't stand there any longer. My legs moved on their own, carrying me toward the fitting room. I yanked at the buttons of the dress, my breath coming in sharp, ragged gasps. "Emma," Natalie's voice followed me. "What's wrong?" I couldn't answer. I needed out. I needed air. My hands trembled as I struggled to undo the last button. The assistant helped me out of the gown, murmuring something about not rushing, but I barely heard her. The moment I was back in my jeans and sweater, I grabbed my purse and stormed out of the boutique. The bell jingled as the door swung open, the cold air slamming into my face like a slap. Ryan and Lily were gone. I looked left, then right, my heart hammering. Had they seen me? Had they realized what they had done? Or had they simply gone on, lost in their betrayal? Too wrapped up in each other to care? "Emma." Natalie caught up to me, her brows drawn together in concern. "What's going on? You're scaring me." I swallowed the bile rising in my throat. I needed to say it out loud. I needed to hear the words to believe it was real. "Ryan," I whispered, my voice shaking. I just saw Ryan kissing Lily. Natalie's face drained of color. "What? No. That's impossible." I let out a hollow laugh. "I wish it was." Her gaze darted toward the boutique window as if she could somehow rewind time and see what I had seen. "Emma, are you sure? Maybe it was someone else. I know my own sister. I know my own fiancé." My voice cracked on the last word. Fiancé. The title felt like poison now. Natalie clenched her fists, her expression shifting from disbelief to pure fury. "That piece of shit. And Lily? Your own sister? How could she?" That was the question, wasn't it? How could she? How could the girl I had grown up protecting, the sister I had held when she cried over boys, the sister I had confided in about my deepest fears and dreams, how could she betray me like this? My legs felt weak, my body numb. I have to go home." Natalie nodded. "I'm coming with you." I didn't protest. I couldn't be alone with my thoughts right now. The ride home was a blur. My fingers gripped my phone so tightly that my knuckles turned white. Ryan had texted me earlier, something sweet about how he couldn't wait to see me tonight. My stomach churned at the thought. How long had this been going on? How many times had he lied to my face? Had he been with her the night before he proposed to me? Had he kissed her before kissing me goodbye? Had he? I squeezed my eyes shut, forcing the thoughts away. When we arrived at my apartment, I collapsed onto the couch, my body too exhausted to do anything else. Natalie paced the room, her rage bubbling over. You have to confront him. Right now. Call him. I shook my head. I can't. Not yet. I need to think. Emma. Please, Nat. Just give me a minute. She sighed but nodded. Fine. But you are not letting this slide. He doesn't get to walk away from this like nothing happened. I knew she was right. But right now, all I could do was sit there, staring at the engagement ring on my finger, feeling like a fool. Everything I had believed in, everything I had planned for, it had all been a lie. And I had no idea what to do next. But one thing was certain. My wedding? My fairy tale? It was over. I sat on my couch for what felt like hours, staring at the engagement ring on my finger. The light from the nearby lamp reflected off the diamond, making it sparkle, mocking me. I had once looked at this ring with such love and excitement, dreaming of the future it represented. Now, it felt like a shackle, a cruel reminder of the man who had just shattered my world. Natalie paced furiously in front of me, her arms crossed. You need to say something, Emma. You can't just sit here letting this eat you alive. I blinked, slowly raising my head. My throat felt raw, like I had swallowed shards of glass. And say what? Hey, Ryan, I saw you swapping spit with my sister while I was picking out a dress to marry you in. Care to explain? My voice was bitter, laced with sarcasm. Yes. Natalie threw her hands in the air. Exactly. You can't let him get away with this. And Lily, God, I want to strangle her. How could she do this to you? I shook my head, my stomach twisting. That was the question I kept coming back to. I could almost understand betrayal from a stranger, but my own sister? Someone who had stood beside me for years, sharing secrets, laughing over childhood memories, comforting me in my lowest moments? Tears burned at the corners of my eyes, but I forced them down. No, I wouldn't cry. Not for them. A sharp knock at the door made both of us freeze. Natalie's eyes widened. Do you think? Another knock. Harder this time. I sucked in a shaky breath and stood, my hands trembling as I reached for the doorknob. When I pulled it open, my heart clenched. Ryan. He stood there, looking as composed as ever, as if he hadn't just shattered my world. His dark hair was slightly messy, like he had run his hands through it a few times, and he wore the same easygoing expression I had once found charming. Now it made me sick. Hey, baby, he said softly, stepping closer. I was trying to call you. Why aren't you answering? I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I just stood there, staring at the man I thought I knew, trying to understand how he could do this to me. Emma. His brows furrowed, and he reached for my hand, but I pulled away sharply. Natalie stormed forward. Oh, you've got some nerve showing up here. Ryan glanced at her, then back at me. What's going on? Why are you acting like this? I laughed. A dry, humorless sound. Are you seriously asking me that? His jaw tensed. Emma, what's wrong? What's wrong? I repeated, my voice rising. I saw you, Ryan. I saw you with Lily. His face paled, just for a second, but it was enough. Enough to confirm what I already knew. He recovered quickly, his expression smoothing over. Emma, it's not what you think. A sharp, bitter laugh escaped my lips. Oh, really? Because from where I was standing, it looked a hell of a lot like you were kissing my sister. Ryan sighed, running a hand through his hair. Okay, listen, no. I held up a hand. I don't want to hear your excuses. I want to know the truth. Silence stretched between us. Natalie scoffed. Yeah, that's what I thought. Ryan clenched his jaw. Fine. Yes, I kissed Lily. But it was a mistake. A stupid, meaningless mistake. My stomach turned. A mistake. I repeated, my voice barely above a whisper. Yes. He grabbed my hands, squeezing them tight. Emma, you know I love you. This was just a moment of weakness. I was stressed about the wedding, and Lily, she was just there. It didn't mean anything. I yanked my hands away. You were stressed about our wedding. So you kissed my sister? Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? He exhaled sharply, frustration flashing in his eyes. I swear to you, it won't happen again. I love you. I want to marry you. You're the only one I want. I stared at him, trying to see the man I had loved, the man I had trusted with my heart. But all I saw now was a liar. Natalie scoffed. Wow, that was the worst excuse I've ever heard. Ryan ignored her, his focus locked on me. Emma, please, don't throw everything away over one mistake. I shook my head. You already threw it away, Ryan. His face twisted with frustration. So what? You're just going to end everything over this? Over one stupid kiss? I felt my heart crack further. He still didn't get it. He didn't understand the depth of what he had done. I stepped back. You need to leave. Emma, get out. His hands balled into fists at his sides, his jaw clenching. But he knew. He knew there was nothing left to say. Without another word, he turned and walked away. The moment the door shut behind him, my knees buckled. Natalie was there in an instant, wrapping her arms around me as I let out a shaky breath. I'm so sorry, Em, she whispered. I closed my eyes. I just don't understand why. Natalie hesitated. Do you want the truth? I lifted my head. What do you mean? She bit her lip, then sighed. I've always had a feeling about Lily. She's always been competitive with you. And Ryan, I never liked how charming he was. Maybe this wasn't just a mistake. A cold dread settled in my chest. What if it wasn't? What if this had been going on for longer than I thought? What if this kiss was just the tip of the iceberg? My hands clenched into fists. No, I wasn't going to sit here and be the naive fool anymore. I was going to find out the truth. And when I did it, I was going to make them both regret ever betraying me. The weight of betrayal sat heavy in my chest, but shock had given way to something stronger, determination. I wasn't going to let Ryan or Lily manipulate me. I needed answers. I needed the truth. Natalie had left after making me promise I wouldn't sit alone and spiral. But spiraling wasn't what I had in mind. No, I had a plan. I grabbed my phone and scrolled through my text messages. Ryan had sent a couple after leaving, messages like, please don't do this, and we can fix this. I ignored them. Instead, I clicked on Lily's name. Me, we need to talk. Now. I saw the 3 little dots appear almost instantly. Lily, Emma. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. Me, that's not the issue. How long has this been going on? Lily, it was a mistake. Just once. It meant nothing. Please, can we just talk? The same lie Ryan had given me. And I wasn't buying it. Me, meet me at Mom and Dad's. I want to hear the truth in person. Lily hesitated before finally responding. Lily, okay, I'll be there. My parents' house was familiar, warm, and filled with childhood memories. A place where I had once felt safe. Now, it felt tainted by the ugly truth I was about to confront. I arrived first, stepping inside to find my mother setting the dinner table, completely unaware of the storm brewing. Emma, sweetheart. What a surprise. She kissed my cheek, oblivious to my rigid stance. Are you staying for dinner? Before I could answer, the door opened behind me. Lily walked in, her expression carefully composed, like she had rehearsed this moment. Mom smiled warmly. Oh, what a nice surprise, both my girls home at the same time. She paused, finally sensing the tension in the air. What's going on? I turned to face my sister, crossing my arms. Tell me the truth, Lily. How long? Mom's face fell. What do you mean? Lily swallowed, glancing at our mother before focusing back on me. Emma, please. No, my voice was sharp, unwavering. No more lies. You owe me that much. Lily let out a shaky breath. It started a few months ago. I felt the blood drain from my face. A few months? My voice cracked. So, this wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't just a moment of weakness. You've been sneaking around behind my back this whole time. Emma, I never meant. You never meant for me to find out? Or you never meant to betray me? I shot back, my heart pounding. Tears welled in Lily's eyes, but I didn't care. Not this time. Mom's face was pale. Lily, tell me this isn't true. Lily dropped her head. Mom's hand flew to her chest. Oh my God. What have you done? Lily sniffled, lifting her gaze to me. I didn't plan for this to happen. It just, Ryan and I started talking more. At first, it was innocent. But then, I don't know. We just connected in a way that I didn't expect. I scoffed. Connected? You connected with my fiancé? Lily flinched. Emma, I swear, I never wanted to hurt you. I let out a humorless laugh. That's the thing, Lily. You did hurt me. And the worst part? You didn't even care enough to stop yourself. She took a step toward me. Please, stop. My voice was firm, my heart hammering against my ribs. I don't want your apology. I don't want excuses. I just want you to know that I will never, ever forgive you for this. Lily's face crumpled. Emma, we're sisters. I love you. I shook my head, stepping back. You don't love me, Lily. Because if you did, you never would have done this. Mom turned to Lily, her voice trembling. How could you do this to your sister? To our family? Lily sobbed. I don't know. I was selfish. I was stupid. I inhaled deeply, steadying myself. I hope he was worth it. Lily blinked at me. What? I met her gaze, unflinching. I hope Ryan was worth throwing away your family. Because you're on your own now, Lily. I want nothing to do with you. Her lip trembled. Emma, please. I turned away, grabbing my purse. Goodbye, Lily. I drove home feeling both lighter and heavier. Lighter, because I had finally confronted the truth. Heavier, because no matter how strong I acted, my heart still ached. When I walked into my apartment, I half expected another message from Ryan, another desperate attempt to fix what he had broken. But instead, I got something much worse. A message from an unknown number. Unknown, you deserve to know the truth. But Ryan? He's been lying to you about more than just your sister. My stomach twisted. Me, who is this? Unknown. Meet me tomorrow. I'll show you everything. A second message popped up with an address. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. I had thought I had uncovered the whole truth. But maybe, just maybe, there was still more to the story. I barely slept that night. My mind kept replaying the confrontation with Lily, the cold way she admitted to her betrayal, and the mysterious message that now sat unanswered on my phone. Ryan had been lying to me about more than just my sister. What else had he done? And who was this person reaching out to me now? As the sun rose, I made my decision. I would go to the meeting. I had nothing left to lose. The address led me to a quiet cafe on the other side of town. I stepped inside, scanning the room until I spotted a woman sitting at a corner table. Her hands wrapped around a cup of coffee. She looked up, meeting my gaze, and gestured for me to sit. I hesitated. I didn't recognize her. She was tall, with dark hair and striking green eyes. Something about her felt oddly familiar, though I couldn't place it. You're Emma, she said. It wasn't a question. I sat down slowly. And you are? She exhaled, setting her cup down. My name is Claire. I used to be Ryan's fiancé. The air left my lungs. What? She gave me a sad smile. Yeah. 3 years ago, we were engaged. I thought he was the love of my life. My stomach churned. What happened? Claire leaned forward. Ryan cheated on me. Repeatedly. Lied about it. Manipulated me. Sound familiar? I gripped the edge of the table. With who? Claire shrugged. Different women. A coworker, a friend of mine, even some girl he met at the gym. But the final straw? He slept with my younger cousin. A sharp pain stabbed at my chest. It was like looking at my own nightmare, just in someone else's life. I tried to warn you, Claire continued. Months ago, I sent you a message on Instagram. Told you to be careful. I blinked. I remembered that message. An anonymous account had DM'd me saying be careful with Ryan. He's not who you think he is. I had shown it to him, and he had laughed it off, saying it was some crazy ex trying to stir up drama. God, I had believed him. Claire watched the emotions flicker across my face. I know it's hard to hear, but he's never been faithful. Not to me. Not to you. Anger simmered in my veins. So what do you want from me? She tilted her head. Nothing. I just thought you should know the truth. And I wanted to make sure you got out before you made the same mistake I did. I swallowed hard, my hands trembling. I already called off the wedding. Claire nodded approvingly. Good. But if you really want to hurt him back, make sure everyone knows who he really is. I left the cafe with my heart racing. My first instinct was to scream, to call Ryan and demand answers. But I knew it wouldn't matter. He would just lie. Again. No, I needed to do something bigger. I opened my phone and clicked on the wedding website that Ryan and I had created together. The one where all our family, friends, and coworkers had RSVP'd. I started typing. Dear friends and family, there will be no wedding. Instead, let me introduce you to the real Ryan. And then, I told the truth. Every ugly, painful detail. How I had caught him with Lily. How I had found out about his past. How he had fooled everyone into thinking he was a loyal, loving fiancé when he was nothing more than a liar and a serial cheater. I hit publish. And then, for good measure, I screenshotted it and posted it on Facebook and Instagram. The fallout was immediate. My phone exploded with messages and calls. Some were from friends offering support, others from family in absolute shock. And then there was Ryan. He called 5 times before I finally answered. "What the hell did you do?" he roared the second I picked up. I smiled, my voice calm. "Oh, just letting people know the truth. You should try it sometime. Emma, you just ruined my life." I leaned back, satisfaction settling deep in my bones. "No, Ryan, you ruined your own life. I just made sure everyone saw it." He cursed, his anger boiling over, but I had already lost interest. "I hope Lily was worth it," I said casually. "Oh, and by the way, you should check your email. I sent some of Claire's messages to your boss. I'm sure they'd love to know what kind of man you really are." I ended the call before he could respond. It was over. For the first time in weeks, I felt free. The days that followed were a blur of emotions. The wedding venue called to confirm the cancellation. My family was in chaos. My mother was furious with Lily. My father was devastated. But none of it mattered anymore. I was done with the drama. Instead, I focused on me. I packed up everything Ryan had ever given me and dropped it off at a donation center. I booked a trip, a solo vacation to a beachside resort where I could breathe, reset, and remind myself that I was so much more than what had happened to me. And as I sat on the plane, watching the clouds drift by, I realized something. This wasn't the end of my story. It was just the beginning. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking Reddit cheating stories happening around you.